Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a good day. Arthur and I just went on a little coffee date and I was doing some work. And I got to thinking, and one of the things that I've been getting a lot of requests on actually since the day I started my YouTube channel is actually what book recommendations I have for people that are struggling with anxiety or DPDR or existential questions and an existential crisis. So I thought I'd make a little video about the books that I read that had the most impact on me. And if you're wanting to skip to the important part, I have linked in the description a link to my Amazon storefront, which means that all the books that I've read, you can just look at there and order there. And you actually help me out a little bit as I'm an affiliate of Amazon. So yeah, I want to kind of go over the books that I've read that have helped me the most. And the very first book that I have talked about probably the most on this channel, which I just want to emphasize how helpful it was in my journey, was the book Fear by Thich Nhat Hanh. So in his book, Thich Nhat Hanh is a Buddhist monk that has written an entire book on the topic of fear specifically. And why it was so transformative for me was because that's actually where I learned about acceptance. And the moment I read this book, actually everything clicked for me. It was actually the first day that I started feeling more at peace again, the first day that I started feeling more in control of myself, in control of my emotions, was when I read his book. And a lot of people continue to ask me, Robin, you talk so much about acceptance. How to accept? How do you practice acceptance? And so to those people, I say, either get a look at my recovery course, which I focus on extremely a lot on acceptance, or you can get Thich Nhat Hanh's book on fear, which is a more mindfulness Buddhist approach to accepting what is and surrendering to what is. But like I said, a lot of help I got from that book. The second book I want to recommend is actually there's two books I'd like to recommend of Eckhart Tolle. I think the most common book and the book that most people have read is A Power of Now, which is his kind of earlier book, which is great, which is amazing, which is an amazing book on mindfulness and a great book on learning to find peace by being present and practicing presence. However, I personally was even a bigger fan of his book A New Earth, which to me truly was one of those books that like opened my eyes completely. And I think most people have like that one book or that one spiritual teacher or that one person that has like helped them so much in their journey. And for me, Eckhart Tolle was really one of them. I used to love watching his videos, but especially the book A New Earth was like an eye-opener for me. It really taught me how to become aware of my negative thoughts and detach myself from them rather than kind of being so identified with them and so connected to them. And that was huge for me. I read his book as well when I was just kind of getting out of my existential crisis and my anxiety. So it was very much a great book to like have as that next step on my journey. The third book I want to recommend is, I think I would say, my second favorite book, or maybe it's my favorite. I kind of switch between different books. But one of the most life-transforming books of all time for me, which is A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. And she really, she for me wrote the most beautiful book, because in her book she talks about the power of love. And because a lot of my worries, a lot of my existential fear was kind of coming from this fear that, you know, life was bad and life was evil and that we were all trapped in existence. When I read her book, my entire view on life became so much more optimistic, and I realized the power of love and how powerful love is, and how that's just the whole purpose of this life, is to love and be loved. And really choose love over fear, basically. Fourth book is called Loving What Is by Byron Katie, which was a book really on inquiry, which means you take a look inside and you try and understand yourself better. You try and understand what your beliefs are, where they come from, and really just questioning your negative thoughts. And that's a really great book if you want to get started on kind of understanding your mindset, your thoughts, and falsifying them. I read it a little while ago, like a long time ago, but I remember that it really opened my eyes as well. The fifth, are we on the fifth or the sixth now? Oh, yeah, the fifth book. Oh, great book. Is The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. If you are a total beginner with mindfulness, spirituality, all these concepts, and you don't want to be too triggered, you don't want to go too deep into anything, then I would really, really recommend reading this book. It was one of the first books that I ever read on like spirituality, and it was so good. And actually, I should read it again. But what I remember most from that book was that it taught me how to find unconditional peace within myself. And not attaching that to anything or anyone else. And the book was a great tool for me because it actually allowed me to make a really difficult decision at one point in my life where I had to end a relationship because it was not the best thing for me anymore. And I was always like, I always had difficulty ending relationships with people because I felt so attached to them and I thought that I needed other people to make me feel safe or to make me feel good. And so what that book taught me was that peace really comes from within 100%. And that really gave me the confidence to make that really difficult decision that very much was the best decision for me. So I don't know if this helps understand what the book is about. But I just remember this book being such an uplifting book for me. So positive, so like lighthearted as well, so resonating with me. Actually, now that I'm talking about it, I want to read it again. It was really good. I was already at 6 because Eckhart Tolle had 2 books. So yeah, these are the 6 books that I read when I was going through my existential crisis. Well, I read a lot more than those, but those were the ones that really stuck with me, that were just really uplifting and really were the start of my not just recovery, but really spiritual journey. And spirituality is not a bad thing. It's not woo woo. It is actually very grounding. It's basically how to get peace within yourself and feel positive and loving towards the world. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you'd like to support me a little bit and are interested in reading these books, then you can just click on the link in the description. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.